What's going on, guys? I'm on my way to go get some breakfast, but I have got some amazing news. My GoPro is back. So that is what I'm recording with right now, is my GoPro, and it is a different one. It got replaced. I already hooked it up to my microphone adapter and it works. So I'm super pumped about that. Like I said, I'm going to get some breakfast and then I'm going to get my bike. I'm gonna bundle up a little bit. It's 61 degrees right now. So I'm gonna bundle up a little bit, throw on the helmet, try and get everything all set up and see what we can do. Got my biscuit. I threw the YZ, which is super dirty. I gotta clean it. I threw the YZ on a charger because the battery was dead. So I'm letting the YZ run and I was just checking everything over a little bit and I have a leaking fork again. So this happened to me a couple times already, so I'll have to tear those forks apart and put in either some new seals or just clean them up, see what the case is. But I've been needing to get back into those forks anyway because I need to replace the O-rings on the actual damping assembly. Probably gonna make a video on that, kind of speaking towards the fact of do your own maintenance on your own machines. It can be really daunting, but you can save so much money and learn so much. So look forward to a video like that. It might be warm enough for my other gloves. Plus I didn't buckle my helmet yet. All right, I'm so excited about this. You have no idea. I've been trying to get this GoPro set up exactly how it's set up right now for like at least a month. Big truck. I'm gonna let the bike warm up a little bit. Look at this, see the vibration? I've been trying to figure out what that is. I think that I just have to tighten this up just a hair. There should be a spec. Oh my gosh. Oh, I missed the bike. I missed the Magna. Taking those days off and then getting back on it. This thing, it just makes me so excited again. I really want to take it out and do some trips on the YZ. I have been kind of neglecting that bike. And that's one of those things. The dirt bike's one of those things where if you don't ride it for a while, you forget how much you love it. Like, riding this thing is awesome, it's a blast, but when you're out somewhere for a ride with your dirt bike, there's nothing like it. And that sounds like hyperbole, but I'm so serious. I have, when it's the beginning of the day, you're feeling good, you're well rested, you're looking at your dirt bike that's all ready to go, all clean, ready to just go tear it up all day long. It's just such an amazing feeling, at least for me. Like, they're truly not safe vehicles. You're subjecting yourself to high speeds with nothing protecting you, and it just makes you feel so alive. But yeah, so I want to make a video on that for the dirt bike, just taking the forks apart. I know a lot of people are scared to do their own maintenance on their motorcycles, and cars too, but especially motorcycles. I don't know why motorcycles intimidate people so much, because they're so simple. And you can find manuals for everything. I found for this bike and for my YZ, I just looked for a while on the internet and I found the service manuals for both of them, which describes how to do everything you would ever need to do to them. And they're super long documents, but there's no reason to say you wouldn't know how to do it, or there's no reason to break stuff, because there's an outline for like taking anything off the bike, fixing anything, servicing anything, and it's like usually a well-written document. And just if you find yourself that and then a YouTube video, you could do all the maintenance to your own motorcycle, whether it's on-road, off-road, anything. See if I can get this guy to wave. Yeah, no, he didn't see me. Yeah, my point is, doing your own maintenance is not only rewarding, but it will save you so much money, like an insane amount of money. To rebuild my forks, if I want to do all new seals and stuff, I do that for like $100, and it's gonna cost like $300 to send it into a shop, plus the labor on it, and why would I spend that? It's not that hard to do, and it doesn't even take me that long. I'll have the forks done faster if I do it myself than if I bring it in to a shop. Oh, there's a guy hauling ass on a bicycle right over there, cooking. There he is. Oh, he is hauling. I don't really have anything going on today besides this, and I was gonna go into work for a couple hours and get a little bit done. We've got some orders to fulfill, so I'm going into work at some point today. I haven't done a straight up joyride in a while, but when I first got this bike, that was all I was doing. I've said this already a couple times, but I'm so excited that the GoPro is finally working. This is a brand new one. Okay, so I didn't have the GoPro for probably like around 2 weeks. And during that time, GoPro released a firmware update for the camera, and the changelog on it says that it had to do with the media mod, which is what the problem I was having was. So who knows if it was fixed by firmware or the camera. I don't even care at this point, because I have a brand new camera and it is working with my microphone, so I really can't complain. It is a little bit insane that it took me a month to get this setup working. Gosh, I'm gonna need some gas. That's kind of a theme for this bike. I just constantly need to get gas. But yeah, I have a video. Today's the I don't have a watch on. Today's the 23rd. I think I did my last video on the 5th, so it's been a while since I even made a video on the bike. I want to start making these videos more often because they're just fun to make. They keep me on my bike, and I think they're entertaining to watch. But it's starting to get cold. And today is not. Today has actually turned out to be nice. I'm actually a little too hot right now. But it is starting to get cold. But I have a heated jacket and heated gloves. I got both of them for free. The heated jacket I got thrown in with a bike part that I bought. The guy was just like, I don't want this. Are you interested in this? And I was like, yes. And then the heated gloves I got from a... Oh, we're losing gas. Alright, that's reserve. The heated gloves I got from a friend's parents. So they used to have a bike and they got rid of it and had just a bunch of stuff around. I basically have all the gear I need to set up a little heated system for myself just for free, which is super cool. But I'm going to get that set up. I need to either build or buy a controller so that I can control the temperatures of the gloves and the jacket separately, so I'm not like melting myself while I'm riding, because obviously too hot is too hot. I don't even know how they work. I don't even know how warm they get, anything like that. But the heated jacket I can fit under the leather jacket, so the leather jacket will break the wind, and then the heated jacket will just warm me up on the inside, and then the gloves obviously. So I think that I can ride all the way through this winter if I just get that set up properly. So that's kind of next on my list. Figure out how to ride in the cold, figure out what it's like, see if it's even reasonable. Being cold is no fun, and being super, super cold while you're riding a motorcycle is kind of almost scary. I've done it a couple times, and it's a different type of cold, because there's nothing you can do about it, and you have to stay limber and control this machine, so it's not fun to be that cold. I really want to figure out how I can be warm during the winter, ride the bike, if that's even possible. Oh, we got another bike up here. What is this thing? Interesting. No wave, no wave. He looked a little bit, looked a little green, a little new. That's something that's interesting to me, and that kind of brings me into a story I wanted to talk about. Riding a motorcycle, for me, I've been riding, a bicycle since I was super little, and then my first dirt bike that I had was a little electric Razor, and then I got a CRF 50F, the little Honda. But yeah, I had two bikes by the time I was 7. I had already had a little bit of experience, and then I had a really long break after that. I had a little bit of money in the bank, and I was looking for which bike I should get. I ended up getting a Yamaha TTR 230. I think my bike's an 05. I still have that bike, and that is probably the perfect beginner bike. I outgrew it, and it was a long time with that bike before I eventually got my YZ450FX. And that thing is a beast. That thing is so fun to ride. It is so powerful. It is very scary. It is the scariest machine that I ride on a regular basis like that. You have to respect a 450. They have just buckets of power and so much torque. You can flip that thing right over if you're not careful. But that brings me all the way back to when I first got this bike, which was not that long ago. It was within the year. I had no problem figuring out how to ride it. I thought that there was going to be more of an adjustment period because it's so much heavier and it's different to ride. And it is different to ride. 100% is different to ride. But it wasn't hard. I just got on it and I could do it. And I'm not trying to say that in a way that's bragging. I'm trying to say that in a way where I see people all the time and their first motorcycle they've ever had is a street bike. And they are out there on a whatever Rebel 500 or something, and they're trying to learn how to ride a motorcycle on the street. And that blows my mind, because for me, like, there's a lot of stuff you have to learn. There's a lot of stuff you have to learn on the street bike, but for me it wasn't about actually riding the bike as much as it was about, you know, how do I stay visible to people, how am I going to be safe riding, that kind of stuff. Like, how am I not going to die on this thing is basically what I had to learn. But I didn't have to focus as much on how do I control this machine, because I had already spent so many hours of my life riding a motorcycle. And yes, it is different, and there is a little bit of an adjustment. It is different. I'm not trying to say it's exactly the same. But yeah, to anybody who's interested in getting into riding a motorcycle, I would say 100%, if you can afford to do it, if it fits your lifestyle, get a dirt bike. There's been multiple times on this bike, like multiple times in the first couple months of owning it, that I've had to make emergency maneuvers that I would have totally ate it if I didn't have the experience on a dirt bike. Like braking and losing traction during braking. Like, yes, you can go learn that on a street bike. You have to do a bunch of drills and you can figure it out, but I knew what to do. In my head, I already knew what to do. I didn't have to figure it out first time while I was, you know, a prime truck. Actually, it was a prime truck turned right in front of me. Scared the shit out of me. And I had to stop as fast as I could. And I did. And the back slid out and it scared me. But it was like, I knew once that back slid out that I had to, without taking off my front brake, let off a little bit on the back brake so that I wouldn't eat it, basically. There, now we got the fresh tank of gas. Ooh, yes. We got a green light right away. Anyway, I guess my point isn't that you shouldn't get a street bike. If you want a street bike, it can be done. Like, I'm saying, if you don't know how to ride a motorcycle, you've only ridden one maybe a handful of times, or you haven't spent hours basically riding a motorcycle of any type yet in your life, and you're looking to get a street bike. My point isn't that it's not possible. It's definitely possible. You can do it. But if you can get a dirt bike, dude, and if you get an old enough dirt bike, you can pretty much just buy one that's already in good condition. It was already taken good care of. Ride it for a couple months, take it out on some trips, figure out how to ride a motorcycle while you're not on the streets, and then sell that dirt bike for pretty much what you got it for. I mean, your only real loss is going to be gear. You can buy gear used, and then you can get a used dirt bike. You can figure out how to ride. You learn to ride, and then you can go get a street bike, and you're not learning how to ride and learning how to ride a motorcycle on the street at the same time, because it's, I mean, there's a huge learning curve to just not being in a car. I guess that ended up being kind of a rant about why you should get a dirt bike, but I don't know if that even made sense, but I do feel passionately about it. figure out how to ride a motorcycle off the street. I think it's just way better for everybody. And I see so many people riding a motorcycle on the street. Like, I've been in my truck before, driving behind a motorcyclist, that I could tell he had no idea what he was doing. He looked so stiff, so nervous. So, I mean, confidence is so important. Being confident with what you're doing, being confident on the motorcycle is super important. And he lacked 100%. Like, I could tell he had no idea what he was doing. He was scared shitless. And that's just not a good, it's not good to be on the street like that. Okay, the GoPro ran out of battery, but it's pretty much done with that video anyway. That video ended up being a lot of just me ranting about random stuff, but I'm just excited to have the microphone working. Thanks so much for watching, and also, I have not forgotten about the mower project. It is coming up. I'm going to be taking that apart probably sometime in the next couple days, taking the motor apart, that is, and figuring out where it's leaking, trying to find a new seal for that. So that's coming up really soon. Hey guys, I'm sitting here editing this video and I'm listening back to the audio, and there's still a little bit that I'm gonna tweak. I think I need to get the microphone a little farther away from my mouth because you can hear my breathing like crazy. It's driving me a little nuts listening to it, but also I'm clipping a little bit still, and I also think I just need to talk a little quieter. I'm not used to having a microphone that actually picks up my voice so well, so probably just gonna talk a little quieter and maybe put the microphone up a little bit farther away from my mouth. But otherwise, I'm so much happier with this audio than last time, so thank you guys for watching. Have a good one.